Good evening, folks. Welcome to the 61st episode of the Matias Sports Podcast. I have Arizonasports.com Cardinals reporter Tyler Drake. How are you?
Good, good. How you doing? 61, that's a good number, man. You're pushing them out.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I already started over a year ago, but I mean, I've been cranking them out, talking to the local media. I actually had Christian Fourier, the former Patriot, like on last year with me, so that was kind of cool. But
Really cool.
yeah, yeah. But before we get going here, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Cards Corner podcast. Whoever watching this, feel free to watch Tyler post game preview during the week. So make sure to check him out. Follow him on Twitter as well. So just wanted to give that quick shout out. He does great work and stuff like that. So the floor is
I
yours. Whenever
appreciate
you
that,
want.
man.
Yeah, no problem. The floor is yours. So take the floor. Talk about your career
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. So basically, it's been a wild ride. I'll say that. So originally, I mean, I grew up. We'll go way back, man. Actually, because I originally was going to be in natural resources. That was really going to be where I was going to get into. I grew up in a small town, did a lot of fishing, a lot of just out in the woods. So figured, hey, let's do something with fisheries. I actually was a professional bass fisherman at one point with my dad. So a little
Really? That's
random
awesome.
fact there. So yeah, throughout high school, we would go fishing every weekend. It would take me away from a little bit of football, so I was always bummed at that point. But yeah, just that's where it kind of started. And then really, I grew up in this little town called Kelseyville, California, and they had this giant celebrity golf tournament, and they'd have old school Raiders, old school 49ers, Joe Montana, Dwight Clark, Jerry Rice, Cliff Branch, Ken Stabler, Ray Guy, all these just greats
Wow.
that would come to this little town and really just play golf and really enjoy the scenery up there. And I used to be a memorabilia runner and would just go and talk with these guys and chat their ear off left and right. And, one day I think I was in college at U of A, Arizona down here, and then just decided is like I do not want to do natural resources anymore. I think I want to just try to dive into sports however I can. I love it. That's all I want to do. So yeah, I kind of took a big leap and not only said see you later to Arizona. I moved up to ASU to get the Walter Cronkite degree to kind of help
Nice.
streamline, I guess I should say, the stuff I had to pick up the slack, I guess I should say. So got all that done, and then yeah, it was a really fun time in Arizona, and then in ASU, it was just mainly business, getting to work, getting the reps in, and now I interned with Arizona Sports in I think 2016 now. When I graduated in 2017, I continued to make sure they knew that I was still around and still wanted to contribute. Jumped on with them as a part timer. Not only did sports, but did news as well, and that is, I will say, news is a beast in its own right and
Yeah.
can really make you a better writer or better, really anything, just because of how delicate it can be at
Hmm.
times. But after that, COVID hit. And from there, I think that's right when I got my full time job with the station and now doing Cardinals full time. That was kind of what I wanted to do from the beginning. So was here and there at Cardinals from 2018 and 2019, and then really took it over 2020, 2021. And it's been my thing ever since. I love it. It's a grind. It's every day. Saturday's really the only day off I have. And even then you've got practice squad elevations and
Hmm.
other things going on. So yeah, I mean that's kind of the baseline for me, and now it's just every day trying to find something new and different, and try to give the fans something different that they haven't seen from everybody else that covers the team.
Yeah, yeah. So you said you grew up in California. So did you grow up like a Rams, Raiders fan, or I mean, yeah, I mean, you mentioned that, and that's been one of my things on my list to visit someday, California. I mean, I've never been out there, but talk a little bit about that, like growing up in California, being around your dad, like kind of just reverting back before the sports stuff, and then how you kind of got, obviously into Arizona and stuff like that. Just kind of backtrack a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit.
So basically, I mean, Northern California, you had to pick a side. It was either Raiders or Niners. I think it's about a healthy 50% split up there in Lake County,
Hmm.
but I went with the red and gold. So at least I knew a little bit about the NFC West when I finally covered
Yeah.
the Cardinals. It is really funny to kind of, think back when I was a kid of just like, oh yeah, it was Niners over everything. And now it's very much like I could tell you a lot more about the Cardinals than anything about the Niners at this point when they're not playing each other. I mean, obviously, you got to preview the game, so kind
Hmm.
of harken back a little bit, talk to some of my guys that are still back home, and really get their kind of take on what they think they're seeing from the team. But yeah, I mean, that's really where it starts, and yeah, it's interesting covering an NFC West foe that a long time. I mean, my whole family's out here. I'm from California, but really all of my family has been from Arizona. They're from Globe, little small mining town, Mesa. So every
Hmm.
time I was out here, it was always Cardinals this, Cardinals that. So it was always fun to kind of have that rivalry. And now it's really funny now because now they're coming to me for all the Cardinals info, and they asked me about Niners here and there, but I couldn't tell you much anything more than when we're previewing them, I guess, because it's just hard to cover more than one team when you've got it every day, and you've got to give everybody here what they want. So it's funny to see it all happen. It's hard to even consider myself a fan of a single team anymore. I think just like what you said earlier, a football fan before we jumped
Yeah,
on. That's
absolutely.
kind
Yeah.
of where I'm leaning now. And yeah, like I said, I can name you about every single person on the Cardinals. I could probably get through the starting offense of the Niners at this point.
That's crazy how like stuff transpires. Grew up a diehard 49ers fan, just like my guy Tom Brady from New England over here, even though he's a California kid too. But man, that's awesome. Like, growing up a Niners fan and now you're just all Cardinals, I should say, or all cards. But no, I mean that's great. Just growing up in California and not going too far away. I mean, how far back is home from Arizona to California? It's kind of close, isn't it?
About a 14-hour drive. I used to
14-hour
make
drive.
it every once in a while, but I will no longer do that. I'll pay the extra and fly. That was back when I was in college and wanted to make it in and see how cheap I could make it back home. Now I'm just gonna sit in the plane and enjoy enjoy the flight.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
that's
about
great.
14 hours. It's only a couple hours on the plane, but again, like I'm from a small town, so basically you land in San Francisco, Oakland, Sacramento, and it's about a 2-hour drive to get to where I'm at. So yeah, it's a
On
very
top of
little
it all.
town. Shout out to Clear Lake. Yep, yep, yep.
No, that's great. But yeah, like I talked off air, I know I'm gonna jump around before I get to the cards, but any advice, any struggles that you can just tell, whoever may see this, kids, adults, whoever it is, trying to get into sports journalism because it's so tough,
Yeah.
especially up here in New England. It's so, so tough. But I don't know how it is in Arizona because I know this, you guys lost the Coyotes, or the Coyotes are on hold right now, unfortunately. But I mean, just talk about the struggles and like what career advice you could honestly give anybody.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing I can say is reps, 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 reps. You don't have to come into it knowing every single thing about 12 personnel, 13. Like
Hmm.
you just need to get the reps down. You need to know exactly what kind of avenue you want to go when it comes to breaking things down. Do you want to be more of the analytical guy? Do you want to be more of the opinionated person? I think if you can bridge the gap a little bit, that's the way to go. Give people your takes, but also back it up with actual stats or actual film. I think that's really where this thing is going now. You see a lot of people trying to do it. It's always good. I've got a lot of guys in my back pocket that I'll reach out to, and I think I know my stuff, and I'll talk to a couple of these guys who played football, played in the NFL level, and they'll give me a couple extra wrinkles, and it really does open your eyes up. So one thing I think is don't be afraid to go ask those questions, and really you just got to grind. That's the biggest thing I can say. I mean, right now I'll give you my schedule. It's a six day a week thing, and like I
Hmm.
said, Saturdays maybe I get the day off. Maybe we're talking about practice squad elevations or doing something else. Maybe there's a report coming out. I mean, really, the day starts at 5 or 6. If Adam Schefter gets something out about the Cardinals, we start digging into that, and
Hmm.
it's really just about focusing a lot of your time. And it's tough. Like I've got 2 kids at home. My anniversary is today, 5-year anniversary. So shout
Oh,
out to my
congratulations.
wife.
That's
But
awesome.
but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the thing, man. Is it's
Congratulations.
going to
Yeah.
take away from it's going to take and thank it's going to take away from your life, and
Hmm.
and it's part of your life, but it's also going to take away from your home life, and you've got to be able to not only balance that well. So like when I'm not doing anything Cardinals, I'm fully dad, I'm fully husband. I'm trying to do as
That's
much as I
awesome.
can, try to help pick up the house, whatever I can do. But as soon as Cardinals anything clicks on, it's my wife also understands the business. She loves football too. She's a huge Green Bay Packers fan, so
Oh,
it's always
wow.
fun to talk to her about that. And I think they're probably Super Bowl contenders at this point, in my
Yeah, they're
opinion.
looking
So
like it.
really fun to talk with her about that kind of stuff. But that's the other thing too, is you also have to have the people around you that know how much of a grind this is going to be. And here's the other thing: starting out, especially the financial side of it might not be what you think it is,
Hmm.
and it probably won't be. That's one thing. When I talked to a lot of people at Cronkite, when I'm filling in and helping out with classes, like that's the one thing that they've got to realize. Nobody's going to go, like not everybody's going to go be the Stephen A. Smiths that's making $1 million contracts, or the Adam Schefter's,
Hmm.
Ian Rappaport's. Like you've got to be able to recognize that it's going to be a grind really across the board. And if you can get through that, and if you can have somebody like, again, like my wife is a huge part of why I can do this, because her being at home and being able to take care of the kids while I'm gone, that is something that I will never take for granted. And it allows me to spend more time out here and allows me to be more in the field and get more of that in-depth conversations. But that's also tough. I mean, not everybody's going to have that. So
Hmm.
you've really got to find a balance of diving in, being fully that guy, that guru, but at the same time having that work life balance that doesn't have you completely drained or completely to the point of like, I don't want to go to this Tuesday press conference because it's just a bunch of nobodies that I need. No, it's you've got to be able to squeeze every little ounce that you can. And yeah, it's going to be tough. And it has been a lot. I mean, I was doing multiple jobs when I was a part-timer here. I was doing like high school football still on the side. I was
Hmm.
doing other things that really, I mean, weren't even associated with sports. I mean, before I got the job, I was doing hat club. I was working at a hat store. So
Oh wow.
just those kind of little things. But I always wanted to keep myself in some kind of sport. So as much as this hat club job was nothing compared to what I do now, it allowed me to sit there and talk with a bunch of different fans from different sports and kind of open up my scope of how to ask them questions or how to really get more out of them while also trying to sell them hats. But at the end of the day, it was really about just kind of making that connection. And where can I connect with, like, one guy would walk in with the Cowboys hat. Oh, hey, what do you think about Dak? Have a 20-minute conversation
Yep,
about
yep.
Dak. The guy buys four hats and we go on. But at the same time, we're having a back and forth like a podcast almost in real life. So that's just the thing that I would say is just you got to grind and you've got to realize it's not going to be glamorous. Again, there's certain people that are going to be the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, but in the reality of it, I'd say 90% of us, we're going to be grinding 24/7 to get the best product you can. And yes, they're going to be up on a pedestal more than everybody else. But I can tell you 4 or 5 different people that I feel more strongly about in terms of their opinion than some of these national guys. But then you always have to throw in that financial side of it. But I really do think it just comes down to grinding, and reps are really what it comes down to. If you can find your avenue and really start jumping in and getting it down, like even if you're sitting during a game and you want to do play by play, just start talking, just start doing it while you're watching the game. I do it for fun sometimes just because it's like, oh, maybe I could try this. And I definitely could not do play by play. I'll tell you right now. But it is fun to kind of like, okay, yeah, that could see that. I could see that. But that's probably my biggest thing is repetition, repetition, repetition.
Yeah, even if it's like blogging on the side or like when you have time, just write an article, stuff like that, you know. No, I totally understand that. I mean, it's just it is a grind. It's not much money. I've done high school stuff. I've done, some sports journalism. It's just the jobs. I don't know how it is down like where you are, but it's just so far-fetched. It's like a high school reporter, what's the salary? Oh, it could be like 45, 50,000. I'm like, but you got to
Huh,
drive two.
maybe that, maybe
Maybe,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you gotta drive like maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, or like go cover games, or they cover gas. It's like,
I mean, I was making for when I was doing high school, I was making about $25 to $50 a game.
yeah, yeah, that's what it is. You're right. But I'm
It was
saying
it
like
was
a
basically
full-time
putting
role.
gas in my tank. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But it gave me the repetitions. It got me out there. But that's the thing, man. That's the grind part of it.
Yeah,
It's not gonna be that promising, oh man, I got this breaking story. But then you also have to look at who you're covering. I mean, these high school kids are going to appreciate it. The high school coaches are going to
for
appreciate
sure.
it. That's where you have that better understanding. And you never know. You might run into a guy like I covered Jacob Cowing when he was at Maricopa, and now he's playing for the Niners. It's just, you never know who you might run into. Brock
Hmm.
Purdy, another name. He's playing for the Niners too. All these guys playing for the Niners out here. But that's just one of the things is like, I know their parents. I've talked to them before. So it's, you've always got to remember that the bridge that you might make early on could be a bridge that you're crossing later down the line. So I also think that's a huge thing to keep in mind too, is you never want to burn those bridges because you never know when it might come back around that either they need a hand or you need a hand. And that could be the person that could help you out the most.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point to, put it like that. I mean, like I've made like some strong connections with people in the media, local media here, stuff like that. But I mean, obviously, a beat reporter is not going to offer me a job and be like, "Hey, do you want to cover blah, 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 like whoever, like the D-backs or something?" If I'm living in Arizona, I'm like, no, like that's not going to happen. But they could advise you and be like, hey, this is the steps you need to do, blah 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 blah, and then go from
I
there.
mean, I mean, in today's age too, man, it's not the same as when I was doing it. You can go
Hmm.
in now and you can build a huge following on YouTube. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what's pushing this content right now is a lot from YouTube. You can go build your page there and expand that way. I mean, it's not the traditional you've got to go get a job with a certain company. I mean, yeah,
Hmm.
obviously when it comes to credentialing and stuff like that, you've got to be an accredited place, but there's a new kind of generation that it doesn't necessarily need to be from a company. I mean, go build your YouTube following up enough and you're going to get a lot of looks, you're going to get a lot of plays, and that could be a source of revenue at some point. I mean, when you go on TikTok, Instagram, all these other social media, it's almost like that social media influencer from 10 years ago is now morphing more into a
Hmm.
kind of reporter type thing that if you do it the right way could really benefit you.
No, absolutely. And that's how people actually have been hitting it big is social media. If it's Twitter, if it's YouTube. I mean, I started this channel over a year ago. I don't have a lot of subscribers, but the people I've talked to have been great. And I've had people come back and I'm like, I'm asking people, hey, come back. Talk about the current events. Do this, do that. But I like knowing about you guys' background and bio. And it's like, oh, this is how Tyler started. This is how so and so started. I'm like,
Exactly.
I love hearing it. So maybe one day if I need like an advice or I'll come back to the podcast and I'll listen to what he or she said.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And that's really all you can do, man, especially starting out is just take as much info as you can and then eventually put a filter on and then start filtering what you want and what you don't want. But I think going into it without blinders is key. You want to see all the different ways people do it
hmm.
and then find your avenue.
No, absolutely. No, I appreciate it. But before we run out of time here, because Zoom always gives me limited time. I mean, you still got time, but I definitely want to, touch on the cards. 2-0. I mean, what's your thoughts? I know you know them in and out better than I do. I see them from afar, so.
Yeah, I mean it's a 2-0 squad. I did not like what I saw the first 2 weeks. I thought against two teams that are probably more towards the back end of the standings, they should have wiped the floor with them. Obviously, they were doing that with Carolina. Played a little prevent defense, had some injuries there at the back end, but yeah, big thing for them is closing out games and really not playing with their food, which I think they did these last 2 weeks. The Niners are going to present them a really good chance to really take that next step. I'd love to see a little bit more from Marvin and Kyler, but I do think that connection's taking that next step. Would like to see more from Trey McBride, at least in the end zone. Run game. That's got to be the big thing is can this team get back on track in the run game? That's their bread and butter. As much as everybody wants to talk about Kyler Murray and Marvin, it's got to start with James Conner, Trey
Hmm.
Benson. They've really got to get that side of the football running because if they can, it's only going to bode well for them, not only from the offensive side of the point, but that can help them close out games late too. Last 2 years, I think they've well been within the top 10, top five in rushing. And this year, it just hasn't. I think they're 14th right now in rushing yards per game. Just hasn't looked the same. So they really need to take that next step if they want to be successful. These are the games to do it right now. I think after the bye, it's going to get really difficult schedule wise. Obviously, we don't really know what's going on with the Bengals, but at the end, you've got the Rams too, which I think are going to be right there in FC
Tough.
West. Look at that division. It's just stacked right now. Obviously, Seattle's 1-1, but they've got a great defense, one of the best ones, I think, in my opinion. So there's a lot of it's really tight, and they've really cannot shoot themselves in the foot because penalties have been huge. I think they've had like 150 yards with the 21 penalties, I think, so far. So just a rough showing there. They clean that up. They get the run game going. This team, I think a lot of people are talking about the successes as opposed to maybe the weaknesses. But for right now, there's a lot of question marks about a undefeated football team that I really didn't expect to have at this point. So we'll see how they bounce back against a divisional opponent in the Niners. But that, and then they got a short week with the Seattle Seahawks. Garrett Williams is on the IR, and he might be one of their most pivotal dudes on the defense. He plays everything for this team, and then you've got some other guys. Max Melton, he'll play. Will
Hmm.
Johnson hasn't practiced this week. I don't think he's going to go this week. But then you've got the short week on Thursday Night Football, so it's going to be very interesting this how they navigate and thread the needle between these two games.
I mean, you mentioned a lot of guys there. Obviously, a lot of guys stand out to me, but what has that rookie Will Johnson? I mean, he seems like he's overperformed in the first couple of weeks, right? Did he play last week? I know he had a phenomenal
Yeah,
first week against the Saints and he was getting a lot of praise and stuff like that. But seeing him, covering him day to day, how's it been seeing that Michigan product right in front of you?
he's smooth, man. He is really smooth. Like right away, you could tell. I actually had him on our podcast, Cardinals Corner. He joined him and Cody Simon actually jumped on the pod, so it was funny having Ohio State and Michigan ties right after they got drafted. And trying not to have them throw chairs at each other. Um, but
Big
no, dude,
rivalry.
he's really lived up to, I think, a lot of the expectations, and they were definitely lofty. I mean, he should have an interception after week one. Got called back because Max Melton was doing something on away from the play, which is kind of ridiculous. But outside of that, man, he's really lived up to it, and hopefully the growing issue isn't long term and doesn't have to miss too many games. I don't think I wouldn't expect him to play this week if he's not practicing. He wasn't practicing again during the open portion today, but he's definitely living up. He's definitely future CB1 written all over him. Obviously, I think Garrett Williams has that role right now, but obviously he's hurt. So it's going to be a lot on Will to step up and really take that next step. But he seems like a guy who really isn't blinking. That's the big thing. When I talk to him in the locker room, he seems like he's already a 10-year vet. So really, they hit that pick out of the park. Second round pick. How could you go wrong? He's already being a starter. Like, that's exactly what you want to see out of that guy.
Yeah, because he had first round talent, right? He was projected to go in the first round and then he slipped to the second. But
Yep.
staying on the Johnson topic for a little longer, how much has obviously the safety and veteran Buda Baker been on Will Johnson? Are they tight? I mean, how are they communicating in the locker room and stuff like that to lean on
So there
a
is
veteran
in the
presence?
meeting, yeah, in the meeting rooms, there is a spot next to Buda Baker. That is Will Johnson's spot.
Well,
He
there you
picks
go.
the guy out every year, and yes, so that is Will Johnson is learning from Buda. And I mean, you could look at week one when he lit up Chris Olave, looked like a little Buda there. So I think he's taking the teaching to heart, and you could tell he's learning a lot. You could tell Buda's loving to teach this guy too. I mean, he talks about how smart he is. He gets it again, like he just doesn't blink. So there's a lot of impact going on within the meeting rooms between those two guys, and it's only going to bode well for Will moving forward.
No, that's great. I mean, that's great news, to see a young player, obviously in his first year, relying on a veteran. I mean, Buda's been in the league how long? I mean, for a while, but I know he's
Oh yeah.
been a hard hitting. He still plays safety, right? He's not a corner, just
Yep.
yep,
Yep.
playing
Safety. Yep.
safety. But I know you told me earlier you were going to interview him. What did he have to say earlier today after practice, Buda?
Yeah, yeah. Just talked about making up for the Garrett Williams loss for the next at least 4 weeks. Just yeah, and then spoke a lot about the Niners and what they do. Kyle Shanahan being the mastermind that he is,
Hmm.
and having going up against him multiple times, just kind of what he's seeing there, and CMC being CMC, and then you've got the two quarterbacks potentially, Brock Purdy, Mac Jones. It all comes down to the scheme, though, he said. So that's something that I think they're almost excited for. He loves the process of diving into film. So now he's got a little bit extra with Mac Jones, and we'll see how that all pans out. I would say Mac Jones is playing over Brock. I think they want to give him another week, but doing a little bit of gamesmanship maybe this week, but who knows? We'll see. But I think for the most part, Buddha, he's excited, man. And you can tell there's a little extra juice for these divisional games.
Yeah, there's a big rivalry. Obviously, when you play in a division, I feel like it's always a rivalry game. If you split it, you win both games each year. But when it's always like Cards Niners, I feel like Niners always have the upper hand. But last year, you guys were 2-0 against them, and I'm like, all right, this is pretty good. My boy Murray did pretty good. So no, no, I wish you guys luck this week, and hopefully it'll be a close game. I know you guys are going to San Francisco. Will you be flying out there too?
No, I won't be making it out there. I'll be here in the studio. We'll do the podcast right after. I'll cover the game from here, and then yeah, we'll be rolling into Thursday night football prep. So that'll be a grind for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. But, staying with the team and then shifting back over to the other side of the ball. The offense, I mean, I love the way Kyler Murray plays. He runs, he's like just like I'm not saying he's a midget. I'm not picking on him because I love the guy, but just seeing him run around the field, he's like one of my favorite Madden quarterbacks. I haven't played Madden in a while, but I just love playing with the Cardinals. But just to see like stuff posted about him on Twitter and stuff like that, and he's just running around the field and he's doing like 50, 60 yards.
Yeah.
Like how is he like covering him? How is he? And just being like one on one with him or just speaking to him, like how is he in the locker room with the guys? It seems like he's got the leadership quality.
Yeah, yeah, he's definitely more of the lead by example. He'll talk when he needs to talk. Yeah, I mean, I had him on the podcast too. We talked about his celebrity softball game he had during the off season. You could tell he wants to take another step as being kind of that leader off the field.
Hmm.
It's taken his guys to Southern California the last 2 years, the wide receivers, pass catchers, and got to know them a little bit more, growing with Marvin more. Yeah, it's dynamic, man. When you see him do some of the stuff he does with his feet, especially, I mean, the Raiders game stands out. The 2 point conversion that took I felt like an hour to get done.
Yeah, a couple of seasons ago, right? I remember that. That
Yeah,
was
you
nuts.
got this last one where he was just running around like crazy. So you've got that, and then also at the same time, you've got some times where it's like, what were we doing there? What were you
Hmm.
doing there, man? Like, I mean, the trying to throw the ball away last week, probably should have thrown it away a second sooner. He doesn't get hit, it doesn't get intercepted. So clearly, some things to work on for him. It's year 7. He's a franchise guy. I think he really needs to take the next step this year and get this team to the playoffs because he does not have a playoff win. The one playoff they've been in, it was just an atrocious showing. And so
Against the
he's really
Rams.
got to turn things around because you cannot be a franchise quarterback and not have playoff wins, especially when you're in year 7.
You think like not making the playoffs has taken a toll on him and the team? Like I know it's been kind of tough. They've only made the playoffs what once in the past, let's say 3, 4 years, give or take, or once
Yeah.
since he's
Oh,
been
yeah.
in the league at least, right? Once or twice.
Yep, yep. Just that 2021 season. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a tough sled for him, especially a guy who's known for winning. I mean, Texas he won all the time,
Hmm.
at least in high school and in college he won. So it's definitely you can tell the guy wants to win, and I think everybody wants to win on that team. You want to win. It's football. It's the NFL. If you don't want to win, you're in the wrong league. But you can tell he wants to win. There's definitely a fire to get it done, and yeah, we'll see what happens. And if he can just keep the ball out of the other people's hands, other teams' hands, I think it'll do wonders for him this year.
No, for sure. I mean, he probably has enough qualities to at least make it past the first, second round, and then, I mean, could you see a potential Super Bowl winning quarterback, Kyler Murray, in the next 3, 4, 5 years? I know competition's tough and it's hard to see the
He's just
future,
he's
but
just got to be consistent. That's the
yeah.
thing. If he can put together a full season, why not? He's got the intangibles to do it, but can he do it on a consistent basis? And I think that's what a lot of people out here. He's even said it. He wants to be consistent. He wants the offense to be more consistent, and that's the next step. I think if they can do that, there should. I mean, they've got the defense now. They've got the players on that side of the football to really make a run. Obviously, they've got to get through some injuries now, but yeah, I really do think it comes down to that of just you've just got to keep pushing forward and be a consistent quarterback moving forward.
No, for sure. And obviously he's got weapons around him with Marv, James Conner, Benson. Is Michael Wilson still with you guys, the wide
Yep,
receiver?
yep, yep. Trey McBride's there
Trey
too. He's going
McBride,
to be
yeah,
their
yeah.
number
I
one
was
guy
forgetting about
still.
him.
But yeah, Michael Wilson's still filling in. I'd like to see a little bit more from the role players, but obviously it's going to go through the guys you mentioned, Marvin, James, going to go through Trey, McBride. So that's where it starts, and then you've got to sprinkle in some guys after that.
I mean, looking ahead at the matchup, what do you how do you feel about this week? I mean, could they go 3-0? Could it be a 2-1 week? I know it's kind of tough to say, but it's already Thursday, so
I think they
what's
could.
your
I think
thoughts?
they could. It's going to come down to Kyler though, because Kyler last year tore this defense up. I know Robert Sala's back, but even when Robert Sala was with the Niners during his first stint, Kyler did very well against them. So
Hmm.
I'll be looking for him to to really take it into his hands and really show a lot of people, hey, like I'm still here because I think this is one of those matchups he could do that.
No, for sure. I mean, like I said, division games are tough. Niners, Cardinals, I mean, you guys beat them, like I said, last year 2-0, so we'll see what happens. But one thing has stood out to me too is Marv not being selfish. He said recently it was about, I don't know if it was you, somebody might have asked him saying like the targets and he wasn't worried. So what's your thoughts on him not being selfish and he just wants to be a team guy like most of the
Yeah,
guys in the player most of the players in the league want to be team guys is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, he definitely. I think he wants to see some more targets come his way. But at the end
Hmm.
of the day, you also have to look at this offense. It's a run first offense. They
It
want
is.
to start with the football on the ground. James Conner, if they could run the rock as much as they can, they want to do that. And then you look at Trey McBride. You have to give him his. Then you got to get Marvin his too. I mean, it's just there's only one football. Kyler said it on yesterday. Actually, there's just one football. He'd love to get him 10 targets in a game, but it also comes down to what the other team is giving you. So
Hmm.
I would look for Marvin to see his targets go up a little bit, but also that's going to probably take away from somebody else like a Connor or a Trey Benson now or a Trey McBride. So it's you've got to thread the needle there. I think that it might he said it is I think he said it best. It's a silly conversation to be talking about his
Hmm.
targets. Yes, he's a number 4 overall pick. I think in this offense he should get a couple more targets, but also this offense really is built around the run first and foremost. So it's not going to always feature these big pass catchers that are going to turn the tide. Obviously, you got Trey McBride in there too. So that's kind of where I'm at is like I can see where people are coming from, but they also I think need to take a deeper look into what this offense wants to accomplish and how they can accomplish it.
For sure. And obviously, I mean, Marv, his time will come. He's only in his second year in the league. He's still building that chemistry with Kyler. That's obviously been in the league 5 years more than him. But I mean, his time will come. I know his dad was one of the greatest Colts receivers, if not the greatest Colts receiver to ever play. I mean, me growing up seeing him play, I was just like, yeah, nobody wants to cover that guy. So, I mean, his time will come. But what's your thoughts on Coach Gannon and how he's kind of got this together in his third season so far? I know it's still early, but what's your thoughts on Coach Gannon and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's a complete 180 from the previous regime. They really did a lot of work building the foundation and then building on top of it. And I think that's really where you have to start is there's a clear culture within the room. The last regime, I think it was falling apart. It was just in shambles at the end there. There felt like there was an off the field issue every other day at some point. And now it's just if there's anything that's going on off the field, I'm surprised because Jonathan Gannon has his team. It's a tight ship. Him and general manager Matias, I think he
Hmm.
deserves a lot of credit. They've weeded out some of the guys that just didn't fit their mix, and it's very much team over you. That's a sign that's everywhere in the facility, and I think people have really embraced it. You can tell Kyler Murray's embraced it. You can tell all of these guys are fully invested in what they've got going on, and then you've got a guy like Nick Ross on the defensive side where he might be a head coach in waiting just from what he can do from a creative mindset and what he gets this defense to get, or what he can get out of this defense. So really, really been impressed with that. Obviously, but you've got to have the wins. That's the thing is now it's foundation. The feel good story has been great, but now you've got to start stacking. You've got to be above 500. You've got to get to the playoffs, or it's a results driven business, and you've got to have some results.
So you think so? It's a complete 180, 360 from the Kingsbury era then.
Oh yeah, yeah, one
I
hundred
mean,
percent.
you covering the team, I thought Cliff was a pretty good head coach, but it seems like towards the end, he just, I don't know, it just kind of
I think he
fell
really I
apart,
think
really, trying to be
people figured him
professional.
out, and I think a lot of people just saw the kind of everything falling apart from the seams. I mean, the general manager situation wasn't great either at the end there, and just that it was just time to move on. And I think everybody was ready for a fresh start. And now you've got Jonathan Gannon, who was really, I mean, he went from a DC going in the Super Bowl to now taking over, and he's really taken it and ran with it. And I think it's because he's got a lot of good coaching staff around him and general manager Matias for it to really help build him up.
No, that's great. I mean, I'm hoping the best for you guys because you guys deserve something. Just the years of just being like middle in 500 or just under 500. It's like I pull for Murray and the guys because I'm like, I know he gets a lot of criticism, he gets a lot of hate, unfortunately, in the world because of, things off the field, on the field, whatever. But I'm really pulling for you guys because something's got to turn around and something's got to give. Like you guys got to be a playoff team and just advance to something.
Yep, yep.
As long as you don't play my Patriots, I'm sorry. I know we're ways from the Super Bowl, but still.
For
But
sure, man. Sure.
but a side note, off the Cardinals topic, I know we New England played in I'm gonna do a New England thing here. I know New England played last year, Cardinals won, yada yada yada. What's your first impressions about seeing Drake May in person?
So you know what? It's funny. I hate to do this to you, but I didn't get to see that game because
Oh no.
I actually was on
Damn.
paternity leave with my son.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah.
it was
Valid
for a good
reason.
reason.
It
I
was.
watched obviously watched it from home, but yeah, I mean, I like Drake May, man. I think if he could get some more talent around him, he could be really good. But I like his mentality. I really like his mentality.
No, I was glad. No, I wanted like an outsider, outside of the local media, perspective on seeing Drake from up close. But even seeing him on TV, I mean, I've seen him on TV too. I mean, it's still a young offense, young team, kind of. I mean, Coach Vrabel's got his guys in order, and we'll see what happens. But
Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate it, Tyler. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up here? I really appreciate you joining my podcast for
Yeah,
sure.
no problem, man. Yeah, just I mean, anybody wants to follow along, YouTube, Arizona Sports YouTube, really every social media. You can find me at T
Hmm.
Drake for Sports. Yeah, we got a lot. I've got a lot at this point. So yeah, just really anywhere, ArizonaSports.com if you want to read anything. But yeah, do a little bit of everything, man. It's multimedia journalism at its finest.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it, Tyler. Thank you so much.
No problem, man.